For everybody that was involved with it, the elements made it as challenging as a game can be. Perhaps that you could look at this game and try to evaluate a lot of stuff. Say you didn't do this, you did that, and all. But this was really a survival game for both teams, and it was an amazing defensive effort on both sides of the ball. It was one of those all-day jobs for both sides. They did a fantastic job, and they did a nice job getting their first downs and doing things and made it hard on us enough to where they got their points. And then we just had our little burst in the fourth quarter that made a difference. And there were some fantastic plays in that fourth quarter, and we really didn't design the one where Russell, the ball bounces off him and then he spins around. That was not a design play. He just had to make something happen, and he finds Tyler, and we make a big play, and we get a chance to get down there. So, I feel bad for their kicker, missing the kick right there. But you do have to do all of that, and you have to execute it, just like our guy had to do too, and House did it, and with John Ryan and Gresh and the guys that have to carry that out under the most difficult of circumstances. So everything that anybody did well today should be commended, because it was such a difficult atmosphere to play in. But the other side of it was the technology that's out. It ain't the same as when Bud was coaching. It's different, and our guys took care of our guys throughout the game, and they made it through, and they were able to play at a really high level with all of the help that they got, as I'm sure they did on the other side. It was really fascinating to me to see how comfortable it really was under the circumstances. Our guys were okay. So a fantastic finish for us to get going on to the next level. That's enormous. We're thrilled by that, and I don't think that this is a measure of anything as far as your football, other than it was guts and stick to it and grit and the whole thing for both sides, and somebody had to win. So we got one. Thrilled about that.
Did you watch the kick, or were you looking somewhere else?
No, I was on it. Really, the thought, they still got to snap it, and they still got to hold it and put it down on the ground and kick it and all that. There's a lot that has to happen there, and it happens. Missed a lot of extra points this year.
Under the circumstances, the kick house get hit for taking the ICB.
Yeah, it's a huge play. Just look at it when you compare. It's a huge play for us to make and to execute. And I don't know, what was the distance on the field? Yeah, that's at the end of what we thought our range was anyway for the day. We came through in great fashion.
Pete, could you talk maybe a little more about the play when Russell gets the ball? He's facing 5 defenders coming at him.
Yeah, I just
talk
think
about the skill set that have both the athletic ability
we've
and
seen so often just the magic that comes out of him sometimes, and he had a number of plays today where he was in trouble and he got it right away and did some good things. We almost made some big plays on. We didn't. That was one that we did capitalize on. But it's the rare play, but he does stuff like that, and we kind of have come to count on it, and it's been a factor for us when we need it. And just in that little sequence of that touchdown drive was really, there's some real magic in there.
How important was the one where Griffin was holding and grabbing him for a sack, and he was able to get enough to get the ball out of bounds? And
yeah, that too. That's what I'm saying. He had about 5 plays today that were just kind of off the charts, and it's not exactly how we practice them, but he has the creativity to come up and make something happen. And it was a hard day for Russell. It was a hard day for the offense. We did not move the ball like we wanted to, and weren't able to execute like we had hoped. And that the conditions had a big part of that. So it was difficult.
Were there some headset issues throughout the game?
Yeah, we did have some issues. That's where we lost our sequencing in there. We went in and out a couple times right in the middle of the call, and Russell didn't have a call, and he had to wait. He was waiting for the call to come, and it still didn't. The headsets didn't respond, so we just got stuck a couple times, and so that doesn't happen normally. It's just something that happened in this game.
What is your message to the team after a game like this?
Enjoy the heck out of it. They're so hard to come by. There's just to survive this game and get a win and get on out of here and get to the next ball game is an enormous accomplishment, and that's all we take out of it. We're not going to take great pride in our execution during the day, but we're going to take great pride in the way we went about it, how hard we played, and how tough we played, and how we stuck with it to the end to get yourself in position to win. That's it.
They're on defense again.
Fantastic down, about 50-something yards or something like that, running a great football player on the other side, and we totally respect everything about Adrian and their style and what they do with him. And for our guys to hold up again, this was a day where they did try to run, and they did have a lot of carries, and it wasn't like the last time we played them. And our guys are capable of playing run defense like this. We've been doing it for some time now, and that's what we expected to do, and it was awesome that they could carry it out all day long.
What do you think the biggest impact of the weather on the game was?
It's just there was enough stuff going on that it just throws you off a little bit, I thought Teddy did a great job, particularly early in the game, of converting and throwing and catching in the short game. It just takes something out of the efficiency, and the ball doesn't fly exactly the same, doesn't feel exactly the same, and so you just have to do the best you can with it.
Was the headset the reason you had to burn 3 timeouts in the first 18
I
minutes?
don't know if it was all 3, but there was a couple of them there. Yeah.
Pete, on Friday with Marshawn, what was kind of the sequence of events?
We finished practice, and after practice, and I went right to you guys when I talked to the media, just going on what I had seen. But when he went back to his locker and sat down, he just didn't feel it. Didn't feel like he could go. That's it. He just didn't feel like he had it. There wasn't enough time to build the confidence he needed that he could, he could come here and do something. So that's it. So that was it. So we just took off and left.
What's the next step?
I don't even know. I don't know. I don't know. We'll just wait and see and just take it one day at a time.
Pete, aside from the fact that it'll be warmer, what are your thoughts about getting another shot at Carolina?
Oh, we've been there before. We have been in this place before and played some tough games against these guys. They've had an incredible season. They have made it look easy. They've had so many dominant football games on both sides of the ball. I haven't looked at them at all, really. I have not looked ahead to that. But it's, we realize we got to do this on the road. And if we're going to do something really special, it's going to take an incredible, run here. And so we're just doing Carolina. We're going to do everything we can to see if we can slow them down and find a way to move the football on a great football team. And they're well rested and all that. They've got all the breaks, and we know how good of an advantage it is to be at home after the break. And so we're going to have to play great football.
Did you have a good view of the call they made on cam on the pass interference?
Yeah, I thought you could look at it either way. He was moving in his back pedal, and the receiver made his move, and he ran into him. And the receiver has to try to get out of his way. That's the way I look at it. But I could be dead wrong. But I look at it from our side of it, that he has to try to avoid our guy. So.
You've been involved in some memorable finishes. Could you just describe the range of emotions in the last few minutes from being up and then them driving and then this? What's going through your mind here?
Yeah, it's interesting that personally the range of emotions for me, I don't change very much. It doesn't affect me one way or the other until it's decided. And so I think our team we've been through a lot of stuff. We've been through a lot of games, and we've seen games come from behind. We've seen that happen from us and also from our opponents. And it was we just had to finish it and see what the result would be. We were still talking like something good was going to happen all the way through to the kick, and he missed it and the whole thing. So there was a lot of believing and a lot of hope, at that time, and where it is all but hopeless. But our guys hung on there, and I think we were waiting to see what was going to happen. Was really what the feeling was, as we were finishing out.
You guys talked finish and resilience and all that a lot to go 3 quarters, get shut out, and then get 10 points for it.
I think it's awesome for us. We build on that. We think finishing is everything, and to find a way to get back in the game in the fourth quarter, and Cam to get that great turnover that he got, and Ruben to get on the football, and then to come right back and get in position for the field goal and all that. It was awesome. And that's really it's what we believe we can do, and so we keep thinking it's going to happen until it does.
What did you determine how good's max range to be before the game?
It fluctuated during the game. I'm not going to talk about that, but it fluctuated during the game. And we did, in the last, really, we saw their kicker pounding the football pretty good, so we thought the ball would fly a little longer in that direction. And so that's why we felt confident going forward there.
So when you went for the 4th down early in the first quarter, 45.
We weren't there yet. Yeah, we weren't in our range yet. Based on the pregame assessment of what it was and what was happening and the way the ball was flying, that's why that happened.
Did the weather affect Russell's passing more than he maybe thought it would?
I think so. Yeah, I thought we'd be a little sharper than that. Just missing a couple things in the flat and a couple things that we've been hitting like crazy. And it was just a little bit off. And so it was a factor.
What was the strategy of throwing a lot of the long passes, just to try to open things up on
We wanted to try to make something happen, and see if we could get them to grab us, and if that would happen as well. And we were fortunate on one big play. If not, catching the football. And Tyler has been a terrific deep ball guy, for us, and so we want to make sure and take advantage of that matchup if we could, and so that's why we did take some shots.
Did you see Coach Grant in his polo shirt earlier?
I just saw him just for a second, just at the coin toss, but I didn't get a chance to see any more than that. We barely make him out there, but it was really fun just to see him out there. And I love the way that the crowd responded and gave the love for him.
Did you think about going short sleeves?
No.
Bud's
That's Bud. That's not everybody. That's Bud. He was right at the time. Just it doesn't make any sense at all now.
The punt, just a matter of a bad snap and trying to make it happen.
Yeah, it was just a low, it was a low snap. We didn't execute the snap well, and then Johnny had to do something with it. He's been around long enough that he makes good decisions, but I just wish he would have taken off one way or the other instead of going over the top, He had a lot of field there, and he got really aggressive and tried to leap over the top, and check him out, look at his nose. He got his nose busted on the play, so he got messed up a little bit.
It wasn't broken.
I don't know, I think it might be. It looks terrible. Looks like this one.
Any other injuries? Didn't really appear like.
Just a couple things, nothing significant yet.
When the ball sailed over Russell's head, were you thinking fall on it or try to make a play?
No, I was thinking he had, because it happened so far back that he would have a chance to pick it up, and then he did go down with it and found it, and then he realized he had a chance to do something. The first thing I thought that he's going to pick it up. He went down, and I was surprised that he did, and then he got up and made something happen that was crazy.
Pete, the past couple of years, you guys have had the number one seeds, you've had the bye, you've played at home. What's the additional challenge now with having to do, coast-to-coast travel coming up here and everything else?
Well, look at it. Look what we just went through, This is an extraordinary challenge here, and it's going to be very similar going to Carolina. Their fans couldn't be more fired up, and players and confident and well rested and all the rest of it, so they deserve to feel all of those things. They've earned it. They've had an incredible football season. So, we know what that side is. Now we're going to try to climb our way through it and have a good football game this week and see where that leaves us.
The catch that Doug made, what'd you think of that?
Oh, gosh, yeah, we forgot that. What a remarkable catch he made. One down the middle with one hand. Just spectacular. It's got to be one of the plays of the playoffs, I would think, and stay right up there with the rest of them.
Pete, sorry if you've been asked this already. Your players say it was destiny in that last kick. What do you think? Was that destiny, or did you guys get lucky?
Well, no, I don't know if you want to call it lucky. I think we're fortunate that we get the win. Because a lot of times those guys make those kicks as a high percentage that they'd make them, but you still got to do it. You still got to execute it, and like I said, it makes me think of what our guys did, and they did execute the play and get it done.
What did you think of the way Christian Michael ran?
I thought he did really well. I thought he ran hard all day long. Be anxious to see the film and all, but he ran tough and looked like a pro. Looked like a real pro playing football. And happy to see him play the whole game solid and do that, carry out for us.
How many first-team reps did he give it all last week?
He had reps all week long. We mixed them the whole time. We alternated, so he had tons of reps.
Anything else? Thank you.
See.